Caitlin Clark is not the best point guard according to WNBA media. So we have a member of the WNBA media who is claiming that Chelsea Gray is the best point guard in the WNBA. But is that based on statistics? Or is this a member of the WNBA media standing let's talk about it? So I do not like to talk bad about the WNBA in general. I don't like to talk about a lot of the things that come up with the controversy and things like that. Some of it is warranted though. And when a member of the WNBA media starts going in and giving unbiased opinions about certain players in the league, it does feel a little erroneous considering that people go to these members of the WNBA media for unbiased statistical information. If you're wondering who I'm talking about, it is none other than Natalie Esquire, which might not surprise some of you, which sure as heck does not surprise me. But I got to say, an unbiased WNBA legacy reporter is not as common as you might think. So according to this post that she put up on social media, Natalie Esquire says Chelsea Gray is the best point guard in the WNBA. That hasn't changed because she has a down year returning from injury. The disrespect on her name was ridiculous. And you know what? Watching Chelsea Gray last night and Unrivaled was a breath of fresh air for Chelsea Gay fans. She was so good. She scored 26 points and she scored 26 big points to help the Rose defeat the undefeated Lunar Owls, of which Nafisa Collier is the head of the snake. And that is no small feat. And this is what she had to say at the end of the game in a post-game interview. We've been talking so much about what it is like when Chelsea Gray is locked into a game. Just what mode did you go into in this one? There's been a lot of chatter out there that I ain't got it. And I'm here, man, so quiet the noise and keep playing my game. I'm having fun and doing it. I enjoy this game, and I love it so much. So playing with them all the time, and they got my back, so having it fun. So I am assuming that Natalie Esquire posted this because a lot of people were questioning Chelsea Gray because she was coming back from an injury that made her very slow, and it did hurt her game a lot. But when you post something like this, it makes a lot of people go in and just go into receipts because this is quite a provable untruth. So let's get into the stats. First, we'll pull up the best point guard in the WNBA, objectively Caitlin Clark. In her one professional season in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark came away with an average of 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds for the season. Now let's check out Chelsea Gray's stats. So according to Natalie Esquire, she had an offseason last season with coming back from injury, and in last season she had averaged, what does she average? 8.6 points. I'm cat sitting, by the way. These are not my cats. I love cats and all, but I'm more of a dog person. That's Charlie. Anyway, back to the stats. Chelsea Gray averaged 8.6 points, 2.9 rebounds, and 4.9 assists. And again, let's give her some grace because she did come back from an injury, but let's check out the year 4. And this is when the Las Vegas Aces had won the championship. She did average 15.3 points a game. Not bad, right? She averaged 4 rebounds and 7.3 assists, and that's good. But it still is not better than Caitlin Clark's averages. Let's just check those out again. 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 8.4 assists. Okay. So how about the year before? Chelsea Gray averaged 13.7 points. She averaged 3.2 rebounds and 6.1 assists. Still does not beat what Caitlin Clark had in either stat. 2021, 11.1 points, 2020, 14 points, 2019, 14.5. There is not one year where she averaged more points than Caitlin Clark. There is not one year where she averaged more assists than Caitlin Clark. So I don't exactly know where Natalie Esquire's foundation for this post is coming from. And this is a WNBA reporter, people. This is who people go to for information on what is going on in the world of the WNBA, so it feels a little trumped up to post this to your many followers and have them take this as the reference point for what is actually going on in the WNBA, because not a lot of people go into statistics. I know a lot of you do, but it's like you can't say something like this and not get called out, and she's definitely getting called out. I am all for fans hyping up their players, whether or not they are like the best, and then a fan might want to think that their player is the best, and that's totally okay. Fans do that. Fans are fanatic. But again, I cannot stress enough that when you have credentials as somebody who is looked at for information from a large majority and large group of people, there should be a little bit of relevance to what you're stating. Do I think Chelsea Gray is an amazing player? Yes. And last night, wow, she blew my socks off. Angel Reese blew my socks off last night. She had 22 points and 21 rebounds. That is very hard and very unguardable for anybody in the WNBA. She actually cooked Nafisa Collier. We can talk about that another time. I'm considering making a video about it, because I was watching that game, and I not to detract from the subject, but Angel Reese literally blew me away last night. I mean, even Annie Sill, she's a reporter from the Chicago Sun-Times. She has really come up this season and last season with how much breaking news that she has had. She is touted as one of the most reputable reporters right now in the WNBA space. Since she works for the Chicago Sun-Times, and a lot of the breaking news that she does end up, releasing out there has not always been in the best interest of the Chicago Sky. So a lot of the Chicago Sky fans are not big fans of Annie Collier costable. But honestly, she is great, she is credible, she is nothing she says really doesn't have a foundation, and it doesn't come off as biased, so she's the person that a lot of people go to for credible WNBA information, and she actually posted something that is kind of relevant to the situation. She posted this tweet in response to somebody talking about reporters being in the WNBA space, and it goes, I think it's because there are a lot of stans posing as reporters in the women's sports space, and Natalie Esquire is not new to putting down the efforts of Caitlin Clark and what she has accomplished in the previous season. 7 months ago when the season was in, Natalie Esquire also claimed that Caitlin Clark was stat padding and posted this on her social media account. Are we going to be upset tonight that Caitlin tried to chase the franchise assist record when the game was already won? I was told that kind of behavior is unethical. I have no issue with her doing it because that's normal behavior, and actually what many competitors view this was obviously in her response to a lot of people going off about Angel Reese's double stat padding. She's also a big Aces fan when the Aces were losing, and they got Chelsea Gray back, and they went on a really hot streak after one game of winning. Natalie Esquire, I believe, put them from like number 6 to number 1 in beating the Liberty, which obviously was not really a good take. And listen, again, I want to reiterate that I do not think Chelsea Gray is a bad player. I think she's a great player. I think she has been in the league for a while. I think that her injury has slowed her down some, but she is a person that you can get the ball to, and you can expect to finish in clutch moments for sure. But is she better than Caitlin Clark? Statistically, nope. Is she a reporter that is standing for her favorite players? I don't know. Why don't you tell me in the comments the way I feel about it? Is that she's a member of the WNBA media. If she were a fan, this post would be whatever, but people that are going to the WNBA media should be able to go and get an unbiased, factual, statistically accurate opinion of a matter, and when you pull up receipts, it just isn't.